Thank you, Wendy. I am excited to share some of my insights about sustainability and creating that culture in your business, whether that is a farm or an agriculture-related business, and ways that we can all engage and empower our teams to embrace these concepts of sustainability. All right, so I'll start out with a brief introduction about myself. I am Rachel, formerly Gerbitz. I've been with Wisconsin Farm Bureau for just over 2 years now in this newer role of a Director of Sustainability Communications and Partnerships. And really what that means in a nutshell is I act as a megaphone for sustainability in Wisconsin agriculture through bringing resources to our farmers, engaging consumers with sustainability content, and then bringing those concepts into the classroom, partnering with our Ag in the Classroom program as well. I'm sharing a fuller bio about myself today because we know that we connect with each other based on shared values. So I'm going to share some insights about myself and my background so that you can relate to what I'm sharing. We can build trust, and you can use those same concepts in your organization, but also trust me as a resource to craft these messages and move forward towards your goals. So I introduced myself as a farm kid who was raised off the farm. My dad raised a dairy herd in the early 2000s, 80s and 90s. And we actually sold the cows in 2001 when I was very young, but I stayed connected to agriculture through showing dairy cows and through 4-H. I actually still have some of those registered Jersey cattle, and we call it the 4-H project that never stopped. So following those experiences, I went to UW-Madison. I have a bachelor's degree in dairy science and life sciences communication. And I've been in this role for about 2.5 years now. Some of those shared values that I want to share to connect with you and our other audiences that we connect with at Wisconsin Farm Bureau. I am an expert on Wisconsin agriculture and sustainability. I enjoy spending time with my family, being around cows, and exploring Wisconsin supper clubs and restaurants. I found my place in agriculture without being on the farm every day, and I am passionate about helping consumers make those same connections to the farmers, producing a safe, sustainable, and abundant food supply. So I hope there was something in that introduction I shared about myself that you can connect with so that we can continue to engage, have some shared values and trust as we move forward through this presentation today. Some goals of what we're going to cover in today's talk. We're going to establish why is sustainability important. We're going to talk about the significance of long-term sustainability goals as we get closer to 2030, 2040, and 2050. I'm going to share some practical strategies to embrace sustainability in your organization, whether that is an ag business that you're coming into the office every day or on your farm where you're engaging with your family or your employees. And then finally, some steps to develop an action plan and things that you can take away to implement in your business. So first and foremost, we're going to establish what is sustainability. It really, at its core, means meeting the needs of today without compromising the ability of others to do the same. And that really looks different depending on your farm and your business style. But again, coming back to those shared values, when you are talking to a dairy farmer and a cranberry farmer, both care about the quality of the water that they're using on their farm. That's a connected shared value that we can align on with our consumers and with our team. I think we can all agree we want a safe, sustainable environment for not only our farm, but also our community and our customers. So one way that we talk about sustainability at Wisconsin Farm Bureau is the responsibility to make a positive impact to protect our natural resources and preserve our livelihood and communities to ensure the success of future generations. It's kind of that three-legged stool that we talk about in sustainability of environment, economic, and social considerations. And who is driving this? Why is that so important? And this is actually data from the Center for Food Integrity. Wisconsin Farm Bureau is a CFI member to get some of these data and research insights that help us drive our message and really help us decide where to invest our communication resources, especially in that consumer space. So 39% of consumers actually consider environmental sustainability when they're purchasing food. 52% believe their food and beverage choices impact the environment directly, and 45% support fair and equitable treatment for workers in the food chain. And that really is voting with their dollar when it comes to climate change and sustainability. Consumers want to know that those in agriculture are sharing their values of safe food, high standards for animal care, and environmental stewardship. And I think we can all agree that those are good things. We agree that it's a good thing to think about our environmental impact. So how is your product stationed to be the best choice to meet those standards? Or employee equitability. We also can agree that we should be treating our employees fairly. How are you doing that on your farm or in your business? It's once again establishing that common ground and making those connections to help move your message forward. Some of those long-term sustainability goals, we are answering those consumer demands by committing to our own goals of doing more with less. And the value and demand for the sustainability information is really just going to continue to increase as we get closer to 2030, 2040, and 2050. 2025 is already called out as a benchmark, as a milestone year for achieving one of those benchmarks of US soybeans. They've committed to reducing their erosion by 25%, and that is by next year already. So we're really seeing that demand amp up and pick up. 2030, US corn has committed to increasing their efficiency. That's just over 5 years away. In 2040, US beef has committed to carbon neutrality. 2050, US dairy has done the same and made that same commitment. And really, this is all coming to fruition in the next 25 to 30 years, and that is just going to continue to be more and more of the conversation, and it's going to generate more and more value as we get closer to these goals. But it's not just agriculture businesses that are accountable for lowering their impact. I'm going to share some case studies and success stories of other businesses that have also embraced this culture of sustainability in their brand to help move them forward towards their goals. First, Unilever. Unilever is the parent company of health and beauty products like Dove, for example. And as part of their leadership development process, their most senior executives are encouraged to identify their personal purpose in life to help them shape their future at the company. They're really trying to align personal values with their company values. They are then invited to choose one of Unilever's biggest sustainability challenges linked to business growth, such as water scarcity, sustainable sourcing, or women's empowerment. And then they work in groups to develop those solutions and present back to the top leaders in the business. So that's just one way Unilever is embracing that culture and giving that ownership to their team to embrace and empower them to carry sustainability goals forward. BASF is a brand that might be familiar to those of us in agriculture. They have an initiative called Connected to Care, and it's a healthy competition among their employees to come up with different solutions to address the needs of the company. The company works together. Employees have an opportunity to join a team, develop corporate volunteering projects in the core areas of BASF, food, smart energy, and urban living, and they submit their project. They've had a huge impact submitting these projects across their company, more than 500 project ideas received in the first year, with over 35,000 employees in the company engaging worldwide. Then the employees are able to vote on their favorite projects, and the winning projects are helping provide clean drinking water, supporting beekeeping, supporting female refugees in Sri Lanka. And all of these are aligning with those core business areas that BASF has determined to be key to moving their business forward. Finally, PepsiCo, a newer partner that we have been engaging with at Wisconsin Farm Bureau, has launched their Pep Plus, PepsiCo Positive initiative. They want to become better themselves By becoming better themselves, they can build a stronger, more sustainable future for all. And that really is guiding their principles on how they work with their partners throughout the supply chain from the farm level all the way to their consumer in the grocery store. So why does that matter to us? What is the business case for sustainability? What's the return on investment for us? I think obviously we all want to feel good about our impact on the environment, but that needs to make sense for our business. And we need to be building resilient systems that can withstand economic pressures and different variables that can cause a threat to our business. But that's also balancing those trade-offs. Just last night, I had a conversation about, well, are we going to be forced to buy these newest tractors that have the lowest emissions when my tractor from the 80s still runs just fine? And that's an example of one of those trade-offs of the profitability economic piece of sustainability, where maybe it doesn't necessarily fit into your business model and that's a trade-off that doesn't necessarily balance for your business. However, these consumer demands are really going to continue to drive these initiatives, and sharing our story is going to give us the license to operate and market access when it comes to meeting those goals and moving forward. So I keep mentioning this culture of sustainability. What does that really mean? It is a shared belief among your business that sustainability is important, and then it's the behaviors that are in place to support it. Successful sustainability-oriented organizations, sustainability is a top priority. So I'm going to share 5 steps for building that culture of sustainability. And I want to note that these culture shifts happen in small waves, and they can happen in any level of the business when the whole team is engaged and moving towards these goals of sustainability. We want to race towards those 2040 and 2050 goals, become carbon neutral, lower our impact. But I think we need to take a step back and recognize these small shifts along the way that are really going to have those ripple effects. And these are 5 of those smaller steps you can take that in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you'll step back, and all of these steps, they'll build upon each other when every spoke in your wheel, every person in your company is moving towards that common goal and working together to build that culture of sustainability to become a leader. So the first step is going to be establishing common ground. Next is going to be engaging stakeholders, then integrating sustainability in day-to-day functions, leading by example, and finally making a plan and measuring your impact. First step is establishing common ground. It's really, what is your why and what does sustainability mean to your business? Thinking about the social purpose that a company and its brand serve enables employees to latch onto that higher purpose and use the company as a means to express their values, which in turn creates meaning at work. And of course, those are some buzzwords that really mean a lot to those Gen Z consumers that are entering the workplace and really valuing sustainability. So in your ag businesses or in your farms, as you are recruiting and hiring, that is something that those Gen Z employees really do want to know. They want to know that your business is connecting with their value of sustainability. So how are you bringing that purpose into your business model and bringing it to life through your brand and products? Again, it comes back to communicating those shared values. I think you can agree with that Gen Z employee that you also want the best for the environment and the best safe, sustainable products that come from your farm or business. And making sustainability themes part of your mission, vision, and values is one way to communicate that with not only your consumers, but your prospective employees as well. Next up is engaging with stakeholders. Identify the key stakeholders within your organization and supply chain. Who are you already working with that can help you meet your goals? It takes a team, it takes a village on the farm to fulfill a lot of those day-to-day tasks. Your nutritionists, your breeders, your equipment dealers. Who is it in your community, that is already in your network that can help you move forward? Are there joint initiatives that you can take part of? Are there resources that you can share? Who are you collaborating with to implement those sustainability practices in your farm or on your farm or in your business? But then it's also important to recognize who will be those champions of sustainability in your business. Is there a team of people that is really going to take ownership and empower and encourage others in your organization to move forward and seamlessly integrate these sustainability ideas into their day-to-day lives? Which leads us to our next step of integrating sustainability in day-to-day functions. Make it easy for your employees on your farm or in your business to engage in these activities in their day-to-day routine. Create systems that make it easy. Develop clear guidelines and provide training and support to empower your employees. Maybe it's friendly competition like BASF to incentivize your team members to do their part, but also holding team members accountable for playing their part. Like I mentioned when I introduced these 5 steps, small action has big impact. And taking those extra steps, like going to the recycling, making it easy to recycle instead of just tossing something in the trash, turning off your vehicle when you hop out to check a field instead of letting it idle, delegating tasks and using your time efficiently, really all of these different strategies that can be easily implemented in your day-to-day tasks to lower your overall impact. Again, it's that small action that has a ripple effect that's going to help carry you towards your goals. Leading by example. As a leader in sustainability, or as you are adopting this culture of sustainability, you don't want to make your people do something that you wouldn't do yourself. So how are you going to foster that sustainability mindset? That's incorporating sustainability into your decision-making process and your daily routines. Just like you're making it easy for your employees to integrate sustainability, how are you integrating it in your day-to-day lives? How are you walking the walk and talking the talk? Building internal capacity through training and education, similar to what we talked about in the last step, how we are training our employees and empowering them to embrace these different trends. And as you are establishing these different training methods, it's important to be open and transparent about why it matters to you and your business. Again, coming back to that shared values piece, we can all agree that this is a good thing and something we should be working towards, something we all want to take part in. So how are we empowering our employees to believe that themselves? Equipping your team with the knowledge and training to implement sustainability in their roles. That goes along with that, building internal capacity. And then finally, evaluating the impact on all levels of sustainability throughout your organization. Going back to that day-to-day integration of these activities, at Farm Bureau, we talk about micro-volunteerism. So I would challenge the idea of micro tasks. What are those small, biteable things that you can do to make a small change every day that are eventually going to build into greater opportunities and greater metrics for measurement as you move towards your goals? And finally, the last step, making a plan and measuring impact. It's important to establish that baseline and regularly monitor your progress. And you should find a tool that works for you on your farm or in your business. Specifically, when we're talking about on farm, there's so many programs out there that are available, like Field to Market, Comet from USDA, Climate Smart Commodity Grants. It really is working with those stakeholders within your organization to decide what's that best fit for me? What information do I need to get out of it? Consider some funding and incentives for implementing those conservation practices, whether that's a watershed group in your community, a demo farms network. Again, so many opportunities across the state and in your community. And it is really about finding what works for you and your farm and your goals. As you're moving along, making these plans and measuring your impact, It's important not to forget to celebrate what you have accomplished. You're taking these small steps along the way, and that should be recognized. And when you're measuring that, you can really see your improvement that's starting to take off and help you meet your goals. Finally, subscribing to resources for staying updated on industry best practices and innovations. And I'm going to share some Farm Bureau related solutions that can help fulfill that step, some resources that we can provide to help you stay up to date on what's going on in the world of sustainability and conservation. So as we wrap up here, some key takeaways that I hope you can walk away from this presentation with is that sustainability is truly more than just a trend. It's obviously become a snappy buzzword, might even be met with some eye rolls. However, I want to encourage you to embrace sustainability and empower your team to do the same. It can really help you to reach your goals and move you closer to that 2040, 2050 benchmark deadlines of carbon neutrality and the like. But I also want to note that there's so many different ways to engage with sustainability, whether that is through your watershed groups, different programs and organizations in your community, different methods on farm or in your business, really owning that at all different levels. And I mentioned some resources from Wisconsin Farm Bureau that can help you sort through some of that information as a guiding tool. The first of those is our Stewards newsletter. It is a monthly e-newsletter that is sent on the third Tuesday of every month. It is a source for conservation trends, updates, news, deadlines, and events. So I'd encourage you to subscribe to that newsletter. Another program at Wisconsin Farm Bureau that really celebrates sustainability is our 35 Under 35 program. This is for our YFA members ages 18 to 35 that are sustaining the future of agriculture in any and all their careers. That's what we are really recognizing and amplifying with this program, is how are all these different careers in agriculture really sustaining our goals. So nominations are open now and will be open until June 1st. I would encourage you to nominate a YFA member from your community for this award. Another opportunity coming soon at Wisconsin Farm Bureau is our Earth Week Carbon webinar series. So we are bringing together 3 experts throughout the agriculture supply chain to speak on carbon from a research perspective, farm perspective, and a consumer packaged good perspective. And I have a QR code to find all of this information on the Wisconsin Farm Bureau website. Here, you can scan the QR code. It will take you to wfbf.com/programs/sustainability, where you can subscribe to the Stewards newsletter, nominate a YFA member for 35 Under 35, and register for the Earth Week webinar series. And now I can take any questions you might have.
Rachel, I'm going to ask the first question. I want to go back to 35 under 35 because I know our state Young Farmer Committee worked to establish the different areas related to sustainability. Can you talk a little bit about those areas that we recognize members in? Because I think it's a different approach in talking about sustainability in those areas.
Yes, I would be happy to. Thank you for asking. We really get creative to apply sustainability to all these different careers in agriculture. First category is sustainable environment, and this is pretty obviously, like those conservation initiatives, implementing conservation practices, agronomists, NRCS agents, anyone that is helping to implement those practices, boots on the ground on farm, is in that environment category. It's all about being a good steward of the land and resources. The sustainable service category recognizes individuals that are helping farmers meet their goals, whether that's through a trade skill like a mechanic or a consulting role like a veterinarian or a nutritionist, and recognizes how those roles help farmers meet their goals through cost savings and efficiency and different activities like that. Sustainable self is all about building up your community, whether it's a mental health advocate or a teacher or FFA advisor that is really going above and beyond for their community and taking care of others. Sustainable storytelling is for ag communicators that are using their platform to share agriculture sustainability successes, whether that's through social media, marketing activities, radio broadcasting, etc. And then finally, the sustainable future category is all about farmers and next generation farmers that are coming back to the farm, implementing new management styles that are really going to carry their farm into the future.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And I guess as we wrap up here today, what is your one piece of advice for an easy first step for those who are listening today that they can just go implement right now?
Aligning on a common goal, common definition of what sustainability means to your farm or your business is going to help get everyone on the same page and really engage every person in your operation on this story and on this journey of creating a culture of sustainability with you. That's my recommendation for a first step is defining what sustainability means in your organization and communicating that with everyone in your organization.
All right, great. Thank you. We're going to give a few seconds. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can just take yourself off mute and ask them now. We'll have some awkward silence, but that's okay. All right. If there are none, I'd like to thank Rachel for joining us today for the Merge Lunch and Learn. Like I said at the beginning of our session today, this was recorded and will be included on the Farm Bureau's YouTube channel sometime today or tomorrow. I also wanted to mention that our next Lunch and Learn is going to be taking place on Wednesday, April 3rd from 11:30 to 12:30. And we are going to have UW Extension's Kelly Wilford joining us. She's going to be talking about leasing and other legal options to increase farmland access. So you will not want to miss that. And thank you for joining us today and have a great day.